Hey guys, my name's Phelpsy4. I'm a guy who watches way too much CS2, and I just wanted to hop on and yap about the most recent NaVi versus FaZe game. I'm a fan of both teams, so it felt appropriate to kind of give my thoughts on this game. Bigger NaVi fan than FaZe fan, but I just want to see FaZe do well. I think everybody wants to see FaZe do well, so that's kind of why I consider myself a fan of them. Anyway, let's get into the games. FaZe played well. I don't think you can really look at this roster with a stand-in, with a brand new coach, with Twist taking over IGLing, and think they played poorly. I think given the circumstances, they showed a lot. They showed, I mean, Twist did all right in that second map, not so great in the first one, but they felt very uncomfortable on Anubis on the CT side. I think NaVi did a really good job making them uncomfortable. I think they definitely felt that discomfort. So first map, not so good. Second map, a lot better. Second map, they showed that they can come to some of the bigger teams even with a stand-in. They played very explosively. I think they played very hard. They played very hard. They fought NaVi mid pretty much every single round, which is a hard thing to do against Makaze and Emma. So I think they showed that they've got something here. I think they performed well. Jacob performed well. Frozen, you didn't really see his impact, but it was there. Or you didn't really feel his impact, but it was there. Brokey, I'm just not a big fan of Brokey. So, I mean, as long as he's on this team, I don't think this team is going to do anything. And yeah, so let's just get into it. Like I said, Jacob performed pretty well. I think he performed really solid. He didn't feel like a liability. He didn't feel like he was making any of those silly mistakes. He, on the CT side of Anubis, was playing super well. Was kind of getting into those aggressive positions, trying to make some space for his team, and he was really the only player on the server for FaZe in the first half of Anubis. That being said, when it got to the second half, not as much impact, but I mean, can you blame him? The guy went 10 and 10 in the first half, where the next guy went 8 and 9, who's the stand-in. So I mean, I can't fault him for maybe not having the best second half, but I mean, that cosmetic comeback in the second half at least showed that FaZe has some ideas. They've got some plays that they can make. This round here, we've got NaVi on the T side, and I believe this round they go aggressive B main. Yeah, they go aggressive B main. Jacob comes out B main with support from his team, gets the kill, falls back, stays alive. 5v4 situation. Really good. Really good. We'd love to see that out of Jacob. Just getting that one, surviving, being net positive for his team. We've got this round as well from Jacob where you can see the situation here. They leave. Oopsie. Lol. You can see that they leave him on A by himself. They've got 3 people coming out A main, and he just sets up and kills. Gets 3 kills here. Does really well. Gotta give him his flowers. He just looked comfortable. He looked good. And this is the pistol round of the second half of Ancient. This is really what gave FaZe the ability to get closer to that finish line. Oh, that was the end of the round. Let me go to the start of the round. So this is you see Twist flashing A for Jacob. Jacob going in just with a flash. He's got a teammate with him. Teammate dies, no big deal. Gets the Gush on Makaze, rushes him down. Gets that kill. Kills the third guy. And that's 3 kills on A. Secures the pistol round for FaZe. Jacob obviously always does really well in these pistol rounds. But I mean, it's just the whole way he played. He was being relatively aggressive on Anubis, not making too many mistakes. Wasn't really a liability. Was really trying to get his team involved in that first half of Anubis. Couldn't really get them there, but feel like that's more on the team as a whole rather than him as an individual. I think he played really well in this game, and I hope he continues that confidence into some of the other games that they're going to have coming up. I believe they're going to be playing Furia tomorrow. So hopefully he's able to come, and as a team, they're able to come and sort of shoot hard. Because, I mean, that seems like something that they can do right now is shoot pretty hard. So hopefully they're able to do that. Twist seemed uncomfortable in that first map. I don't think anybody can deny that. He seemed really uncomfortable. You could see it in a lot of scenarios here where he just kind of he just kind of sits back. There's a lot of really gross team play. Obviously, there's more to break down in that ancient map than in the Anubis map, because the Anubis map wasn't really anything. It was a NaVi stomp followed up by a FaZe cosmetic comeback that didn't really mean anything. And yeah, so I think Twist seemed pretty uncomfortable on Anubis, especially on the CT side. Once they got into the T side, he was able to get some things rolling. But Ancient, he played a lot better individually, but I think the balance of him playing well and his team playing well based on his calls are very different. I think he, especially in his current situation with a stand-in and having just taken over IGLing and stuff like that, I think it's a difficult thing for him to kind of get comfortable with, obviously. So whoever they end up bringing in, or if they end up keeping their current stand-in from Ent, I think this team's got some firepower, at least. That being said, the stand-in, he struggled a bit. He was put into a lot of entry roles. I don't really know how he plays on Ents. I've not watched a lot of Ents recently. So I don't know if that's kind of like his normal positions or whatnot, but when he was given the opportunity and the support to excel, he did perform all right. He got kind of shafted on Ancient, where he had to fight mid against Makaze and Emma. Tough to do. Twist just seemed really uncomfortable, but they did have a good game plan on Ancient where they fought mid every single round, so I gotta give Twist props for that. He knows that that's one of the most powerful things that Navi tries to do on that map, and he definitely put a lot of resources into shutting it down. Last 5 or 6 rounds of the half, they kind of FaZe gave up mid, which ended up being a downfall for them. They ended up getting pushed by 2 elbow lurks, but I mean, we can watch those rounds here. 2 different scenarios, a 3v3 and a 5v4, I believe. So that's the 5v4, this is the 3v3. So you can see here, we've got the scenario. There was a lot of fighting on ramp. We get the trades. We've traded out. It goes really quiet, but we've got smokes on B. We know one smoke was just thrown. That long smoke just landed, so we know that there is a guy ramp. Like, we are certain that there's a guy ramp. Bit decides to fall back, comes back, fakes that, dies to Twist, who then throws some more util onto B, trying really hard to sell this B fake, but we've also got a Molotov out of Brokey. Or was that out of Brokey? No, it was a Molotov out of the stand-in. The Molly Donut gives up a sound cue when maybe you don't have to. And puts these 2 in a really awkward situation, a really awkward post-plant situation. Emma flanked through elbow after the mid-fight. Wonderful gets the first pick on Brokey. Emma gets the second pick on the guy playing Temple. And then Navi actually thinks he's a lot closer than he is, because logically he should be. He got the kill on Cave. You'd think, I mean, his team just planted the bomb B. He's going to rotate through Donut because he wants to be there to cover the bomb. Twist didn't do that. Twist lurked up into Cheetah here. I think looking for another one B. I'm not super sure why. Maybe he thought they were going to save. I don't know. But he ends up having to scramble over here, make a noise, footsteps. Wonderful looks away right at the last second. Doesn't matter, though, because Emma was sticking that from the second they got onto site. Same thing in this round. You can see 5v5. We'll start it from the beginning. 5v5. They come out A main. Wonderful instantly gets gushed. Boom. Just instantly headshot. 11 HP left. They're out on A. Now, they're out on A. They've got 2 people ramped. I think Navi are aware of this just because of the util that's come in. So they're aware that there's probably 2 B. You see them fall off, and Makaze immediately get aggressive behind in elbow. Nothing here. He's not super worried about A main. You can see he's taking his time. He's kind of waiting for these CT teammates to get in place. But, I mean, he hears Brokey jumping around. He hears all this in front of him. And then they just kind of line up for him. Nobody really aware of it. Bit ends up getting Twist on this lurk, who again lurked into Cheetah, came up into Cave. Bit just takes him out. Like, I don't know what I mean, maybe he was trying to get a CT flank on, but it was just really ambitious out of Twist. And then they just, same situation, frozen on Cat, ran to Donut, tries to throw a Molly, doesn't matter. And that's just some of the woes for FaZe in this one. You've got this one as well on Ancient. And these are just things because the team's a little disjointed right now. I mean, what are you going to do? This is some of the brilliance out of Makaze and mid, as well as Emma. You can see they throw a lot of different looks at this mid site. So you can see Makaze, he's fighting elbow. He's fighting elbow really hard. And you can see Emma immediately went up on the Cat, taking the Cave control, taking the Cheetah control. Turns back, gets another kill. I don't think he knows there's another person mid. I don't think he has that info. I don't think Mikaze saw it before he died. I think that Emma thinks there's no one else mid. So when the stand-in starts to shoot at Emma and he realizes, oh, there's another one mid, let me drop a smoke. Alexi, knowing Emma has this control, because Emma hasn't died, immediately rotates to mid. You can see Wonderful comes off A main. They go back towards Donut. And Alexi just tucks in this corner right here. And what really irks me about this is there's enough utility to clear this and do it cleanly. And you can see on the walk-up, Brokey's slightly aware of the angle. They smoke off this CT angle, and then they just don't clear this. I don't fully get it. It's a little bit lazy. It's a little bit sloppy. You just hate to see it. And that kind of leads me into my Brokey slander, as to why I think he's not a winning player. And you can see it here. I just don't think Brokey plays very winning CS. So he gets this pick in mid. Boom. He smokes it off immediately, which is a tendency he has when he gets a pick, is to use some kind of utility and then rotate. Staying dynamic, trying to make the off unpredictable, and you can see FaZe get aggressive and B main here. They immediately call it off. But you can see Brokey, they're leaning towards A. You can see Brokey, he's coming in. He's trying to get this line in heaven. He jumps into this angle. I don't know why. Gives himself up for free. That's A site. Emma comes through the mid smoke. Twist just caught unaware. And that's round. We've got another clip out of Brokey here. This one really upsets me. This one we need to have the full context for. So we've got Brokey and the stand-in playing together. You can see they're kind of tethered here, Frozen and Temple. You can see there was a scuffle outside of A, got to kill E-Box, scuffle outside A, one died deep B. No, there's multiple players towards A, so they rotate over to A. Not like the worst decision in the world. What I don't like is this. So we get these two lurking out B. We have Frozen and Temple still, who's just trying to get info, not die. He does that. He gets info. He doesn't die. Now Bit drops a nade into Temple. It's a good nade. Drops his smoke into Temple. Blocks off Temple. No longer a threat. What I would love to see, and what I feel like Brokey of yesteryear would have done, is push up long here. Push up the CT line here. And try to make space for these guys to pop through the smoke. Instead, what ends up happening is Brokey doesn't really do anything. He fiddle farts around with some util, throws it into sight, doesn't really do anything, like throws a molly pillar, doesn't do anything. These guys push through the smoke. It's just nothing. Nothing gets done. Brokey comes in. He's still throwing nades. Still just yeah. Just bad. I mean, not much he can do there, but I would love to see him take a little bit of initiative there. And I feel like that's a lot of what's missing from his game, is he's so passive now. He was really known as like this JW-esque opper, where he was sort of really aggressive and could definitely like win you rounds just based off of crazy plays. Like, sure, it wasn't the most conventional way to play CS, but I mean, he was good at it, so he could do it. And now I feel like he's just kind of lost all that. Got another round here. They actually end up winning this round. But what ends up happening, Mikaze taps the bomb here, no kit. Brokey peeks with the AWP, which not the worst thing in the world, but just no way for Frozen to really do anything with the info here. Like, Brokey just kind of dies, misses, dies, nothing happens. Like, Frozen wins the round because Frozen has the awareness to stay alive there. But it's just sloppy out of Brokey. I don't think he needs to be taking that peek. It was also super early after the tap. Like, I don't know why he's peeking that so early. And then the final Brokey play I'll show you here, which is also just a little bit of Jacob just kind of shitting on Bit right here. So you see Jacob just peeks in, rips Bit's head off. You got Brokey in the cave itching to get involved. You can see he's just kind of twitching around up on that box up there. He's got those dualies. He really wants somebody to walk into him. You can see NaVi start to lean away. And that's okay. And Mikaze comes back. Brokey comes down off that box. He's now jiggling like the cheetah connector to cave. I don't really know what that's called. And then here, I mean, this is a really small thing, but he jumps in front of his teammate. So even if Makaze swung wide to try and get that kill on Brokey, Jacob can't do much because Brokey's fat ass is in front of him. It's a very small thing. That's not what I'm trying to point out here. But you see he's playing in front of this pillar, which gives him the ability to swing onto ramp should they come up ramp. And it also gives him the ability to hold this cave. He's also got Frozen on long that can hold this. And Jacob's going to rotate around along to watch ramp. So really, Brokey doesn't need to do anything here. Brokey does not need to move. Brokey doesn't need to do what he's about to do. Frozen, in fact, just killed the guy who was peeking cave. So you can see here that Frozen has this on lock. He's got this locked down. There's like Brokey just needs to be here for whatever contact comes. Wherever the majority of these players come from, Brokey just needs to be ready to swing on that. Instead, we get this long smoke. This is where Jacob, we get this short smoke. This is where Jacob rotates the long to support the ramp push. Frozen's kind of speculative peeking because he wants that info. They heard one shoot off ramp. And then he just pushes into cave. He just pushes into cave. Frozen can't trade him. Frozen can't do anything. Frozen's now stranded here because he was kind of relying on Brokey to stay alive so he could kind of take this fight. And he didn't have to super worry about cave because Brokey was on the line. I think he was playing like back towards here, or even if to swing out and kill Frozen here, you got to swing pretty wide. So Brokey would then be able to swing off the contact and get the kill or the trade relatively easily. Instead, he decides to push in, gets nothing and dies. They go on to lose this round. So, I mean, you can just see these are a couple of examples of how Brokey plays. There's a lot of examples like this across a lot of his demos. I've been watching him for a long time. He really plays like this a lot, and it's super frustrating to see where he just makes these bad decisions. He does these bad plays, and it ends up costing his team the rounds. Yeah, it's just super frustrating to watch as a fan. I think it's pretty frustrating to see just because you know how good he can be, and then he goes and he makes these mistakes, and it's just like, bro, why? Like I can't understand this play here. In a 5v3, you've got everything on B unlocked. The only thing I can think is bro just didn't want to sit still. So I don't know if it's just like a lapse. I don't know why he feels the need he needs to make that play. Because they had a really solid hold up to that point. They like had a 2-man advantage, which are really difficult to lose unless you give them away. And with a stand-in, you especially don't want to be giving away any advantage that you have. So I can't understand the thought process there. I don't really get it. There's a lot of little plays like that with Brokey's game. So I don't know what FaZe do, but I don't think Brokey can stay around for the long term and this team be good. I think with Brokey on this team will never win anything else. I don't think they'll come close, really. I just don't think Brokey's that guy anymore. I don't know what FaZe should do. I think maybe they should take a swing on a tier 2 opper, but other than that, I don't know. I think FaZe need a fresh opper, and I think they need a real IGL. Move Twist over to the rifling position, get you a real IGL, get you Shuhei or Kixan. Have Twist rifle, be a secondary voice, keep the rest of your core, get a good opper. Maybe shot Frozen around, try to get an opper. I don't know. Regardless, FaZe, they played better than they've been playing. It's not good enough, but they've played better than they've been playing, so I got to give them props for at least improving there. NaVi absolutely stomped them on the first map. Absolutely no competition on Anubis. Ancient was obviously closer, but it really felt like NaVi had that game under control towards the end of the second half. NaVi got a little bit unlucky, ended up going into a 7-5 half. FaZe ended up going up a little bit. After that, it was 10, I believe 10-9, and then NaVi won 9, 10, 11, 12. Or no, I'm sorry. FaZe did get to 11. So they won 9, 10, and then I believe FaZe won 11. And then Navi won 11, 12, 13. So towards the end of that game there, it never really felt like Navi was going to lose. They felt like they really had that Ancient game under control the whole time. Makaze and Emma, just two of the best mid players in the entire game on Ancient. I don't think anybody really even comes close to that title. The way Makaze plays individually is incredible. The way that Emma plays individually is incredible. The way that they play together is just immaculate. If you need an example on how to play mid on Ancient, watch their demos. Emma was consistent today, which is all you can ask for from him. I would love to see him bring this consistency to some of the bigger games. If he does that, I think NaVi can be a contender at all times, every time. He's just got to be consistent. I know he has this tendency to crumble on those big stages. He really just like can't bring the same level with him everywhere he goes. It's definitely just a mental thing. So if he's able to overcome that, I think he definitely is the key that NaVi needs to sort of get over that hump. I don't know if they can beat Vitality, but definitely something that this team needs to be more consistent for sure. Makaze was incredible. Best mid player on Ancient, period. End of sentence. Just incredible what he's able to do. Wonderful was mid today, but that's okay. I mean, as long as Wonderful is hitting the shots that he's supposed to hit, we can be happy with him. He's a playoff riser, so I imagine once the stakes get a little bit bigger, he'll have a slightly larger impact. But today, first stage of the group, first game of the group, he performed well. He performed well enough. We'll see if he's able to bring that to playoffs. They play Gamer Legion tomorrow, so I don't expect him to play super well. Just because I think maybe he's gonna not really take it that seriously, but we'll see. Bit's my boy. Bit's just an incredible player all around. He played super well on Anubis. I think he really enjoys Anubis. Yeah, he played super well. My one criticism for NaVi is that especially in a game like this, where FaZe is playing super explosively because they've got a stand-in and a bunch of new changes. FaZe is playing super explosively. They're trying to exploit your mistakes. They're trying to force mistakes out of you. I think NaVi has a tendency to kind of fall into the trap where they will play that game. They will allow teams to brawl with them. They're not afraid to brawl, and I'm not saying NaVi's bad at brawling. I'm just saying, especially a team like FaZe that has a lot of individual talent, I think brawling maybe not the best game plan, and I don't think you should really allow yourself to be pulled into that. This game should have been an easy 2-0. It should have been a really clean 2-0. Second map was not clean, which you hate to see. Like I said, it never really felt like NaVi was out of control, but at any given moment, it could have been with the way that Jacob was playing. He's playing pretty individually sick. Twist is always good for some individual plays. Frozen always good for some individual plays. Even Brokey can hit some individual plays to pull you into a game. So I think when NaVi plays so sloppily, they allow teams like this to sort of have an opportunity where they maybe shouldn't. And I think that comes a lot down to the mental. So I'm sure NaVi will lock in. I'm sure that they're gonna tighten up as this tournament goes on. Or they're not, and they're gonna lose in like the semis. But we'll see. We'll see which NaVi ends up coming out. I don't know. They looked like two teams today. They look like the two NaVis that we know. They look like the really locked in version on the first part of Anubis, where everything was flowing. They were doing really well. Even that cosmetic comeback that FaZe put on wasn't really threatening. It never really felt like out of control for NaVi. You really kind of just expected them to close that one out eventually, and they did. Ancient got to some scenarios where you really hate to see it. You go, oh my God, NaVi, what are you doing? And sometimes that's your team that day. Sometimes that's your team that map. But towards the end of the game, they were able to find the composure. They were able to get that game across the line. Like I said, they really closed that down in the last 5-6 rounds of the game. So if they can keep that composure that they had in the last 5 to 6 rounds of the game and the first game into every single game, they're a really hard team to beat. They're a really hard team to beat. So FaZe looking good. Really positive signs out of them. I'm curious what they're going to do with their stand-in situation. NaVi, you don't love to see them struggle on their best map against a team with a stand-in and a bunch of changes. But I mean, FaZe is FaZe. They're always going to shoot hard. They're always going to play hard. So I don't think FaZe has a big chip on their shoulder right now to kind of try and prove something. NaVi should also feel like they have to prove something, but maybe they don't feel like they have to prove something against FaZe. We'll see how they feel tomorrow when they play Gamer Legion, how badly they want to prove themselves. I have a feeling NaVi might come in a little bit flat. FaZe is going to be playing Furia, which is going to be a really hard game, so keep an eye on both of them. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll be back. Bye-bye.